Good morning, welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Thursday, October 15th, 2009. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the U.S. It's 4:30 p.m. in London, 12:30 p.m. in Bermuda, and in Mexico City it's 10:30 a.m. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL Instant Mail address is CATEX-TV. We'll go to the news in a second. There's some other news that we're not mentioning. There was yet another terror attack in Pakistan today. Up to as many as 38 people were killed. This is the third such attack in 8 days. Some commentators are saying that Pakistan is now bordering on civil war. Also, the Nobel Committee is saying that, oddly enough, 3 of the 5 people on the committee had determined that President Obama should not receive the Peace Prize. So I don't know how their voting works. Sounds very interesting. That means 2 to 3 and the 2 won. Now we'll go to the news. There's some economic news, pretty good news. The day that the Dow Jones reached 10,000 yesterday, down a little bit now. It's down about 28 points. But the jobless claims came in, first-time jobless numbers, and the number of Americans filing first-time claims for unemployment benefits dropped last week to the lowest level in 9 months. Applications fell by 10,000. Unemployment applications fell by 10,000, down to 514,000. This was lower than forecast. The total number of people collecting unemployment insurance also dropped. In addition to that, the New York State Empire Factory Index really surged. The New York State Empire Factory Index is an index that's compiled by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Manufacturing in the New York region expanded during the month of October for the 3rd straight month. It reinforced signs that factories are helping to pull the economy out of the recession. The index jumped all the way to 34.6%. This is the highest since mid-2004. In September, it was only at 18.9%. Analysts had been expecting that the index was only going to climb to 17.3%. Instead, it went up to 34.6%. One commentator said this is a sign that the recovery is picking up steam in the New York area. Well, there's some profit news. As expected, Goldman Sachs came in with blow-the-doors-off numbers. Goldman said this morning that its third quarter profit rose to $3.19 billion, or $5.25 a share. Last year in this quarter, they had a profit of $810 million, or $1.81 a share. Analysts had been expecting that they were going to come in at $4.24 a share. Instead, they came in a whole dollar more than that, $5.25. Third quarter net revenue jumped to $12.37 billion from $6 billion a year ago. Lloyd Blankfein said, he's the chairman, although the world continues to face serious economic challenges, we are seeing improving conditions across a number of sectors. Good for him. Citigroup had some numbers this morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. They said that the third quarter loss per share narrowed from the year earlier period. It was helped by rising financial markets and an easing credit crisis, but the bank still continues to take big provisions for debt losses. Citi reported third quarter net income of $101 million and a 27-cent loss per share. This is on revenue of a little bit over $20 billion. A year ago in this quarter, they posted a loss of 61 cents a share. The company said that the latest quarter's results included $8 billion in net credit losses and an $802 million net loan loss reserve. Vikram Pandit, the CEO of Citi, said while consumer credit trends are improving, the U.S. consumer credit environment remains challenging. Analysts polled by Thomson Reuters had come up with an estimate of a 36-cent loss per share. Instead, Citibank came in a little better than that at 27 cents a loss, 27 cents per share. So Citibank actually right now is down about 5%. Goldman Sachs is down about 1.9%. Figure that out. Back to more predictable things, it seems, and that would be earthquakes. Who can figure the stock market out? There was an earthquake yesterday, actually today, near American Samoa. It was an earthquake with a magnitude of 6.0. We decided to pull up the whole Asia chart, and if you look all the way over to the right, you can see the quake, that the blue box that struck American Samoa. There was another quake a little bit to the left in the Marshall Islands, and if you go further to the left, you can see a quake right in the middle of New Guinea. This quake all the way on the right hit at about 6 a.m. local time, or about 1800 Greenwich Mean Time last night. It was centered about 360 kilometers west-southwest of Apia in Samoa. Meanwhile, in Central Asia, there was another quake. We'll pull that one up. This is the Asian map. You can see the spate of seismic activity with the yellow boxes over in Japan. Those are quakes that are 48 hours or less old. Look at the bright red box there and a little bit to the left center of the screen. That's a 5.0 earthquake that came through this morning at 5:57 p.m. local time. And the area is in Afghanistan. It's about 45 miles east of Faizabad out in the Hindu Kush Mountains. There are not too many people living there. It's unlikely that there have been any damage or injuries reported. We'll go to a word from our sponsors and come back with the rest of our news. I had a couple of confusing stories from Insurance Insider this morning regarding Lloyd's syndicate Hardy. The first story came out saying that Hardy's was set to launch a fifth startup syndicate in January of this coming year, 2010. Apparently they had already received approval to form a sidecar to Syndicate 382. The special purpose syndicate would reinsure 20% of Hardy's property treaty account, taking in an estimated almost 19 million pounds of premium next year. The business would have been split between 36% U.S., 64% international, and 15% European. Then, about an hour later, this story came saying that Lloyd's insurer Hardy has pulled plans to launch the special purpose sidecar syndicate to sit next to existing Syndicate 382. According to sources, the planned vehicle will not go ahead because of fears that it will not receive enough support from third-party capital providers to reach its minimum targeted capacity level. This despite having received approval in principle from Ralph Tolley, Lloyd's franchise performance director. Don't know what's going on with that, but we'll keep watching that one. That would be something to follow, obviously. Meanwhile, in the same venue, Munich Re is launching a new 67 million pound syndicate through its Lloyd's Beaufort Underwriting Agency platform for next year, targeting high-risk, high-reward retro business. The Insurance Insider is also reporting this. Beaufort is Syndicate 2318. Michael Pritchard will be the active underwriter. He'll be supported by a so-called special purpose syndicate. They've already been given a number, 6108, backed by third-party names capital, to which it will quota share a percentage of the targeted retro portfolio. Again, the Franchise Performance Directorate at Lloyd's is thought to have approved both syndicates in principle. Insurance Insider says that they have seen the plans for the startup. The startup will write London and Bermudian market retro business primarily on an excess of loss basis. Well, Alex Wright in the Royal Gazette down in Bermuda had a story today featuring Henry Keeling. We